Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena, and we are continuing our Greek grind with our elite companions. So, if you remember in the last video, I just got these guys unlocked, and was just sort of trying them out for the first time and starting the grind in our couple of videos. So today we are continuing that grind. So for those of you who don't know the series, this is kind of one where we just do sort of a few whistle-stop tours through each of the Greek cavalry units as we progress up. But all the videos are done live. I don't pick out the best ones or anything like that, so sometimes the video just contains me having two shocking battles, and sometimes it has a couple of good battles. But yes, we've now got these guys as fully upgraded as I'm probably going to go with them. We've got the cuirass, which gives the body armour, and we have the graceful archaic greaves, which gives me a little bit more movement speed as well. Didn't really seem worthwhile me doing any of the helmets, so I wasn't going to bother with them. And I'm kind of tempted with this because it is kind of compatible with some of the archer units, but for now I just haven't bothered. I'm just going to start pushing onto the Agamemnon Cavalry at tier 7. Some things should hopefully carry over. I think some of these greaves and stuff I've actually got unlocked on the archers. So hopefully we'll have a few things sort of we can unlock pretty early on. And then it looks like we've got quite a lot of choice when it comes to some of the things we've got in the tier 7. So we've got that to look forward to, don't we? These tier 6s are still pretty great though. They're just following the classic Greek cavalry style. Really immense charge damage with their long spears. Really high charge impact damage. You know, just do a lot of damage on a hit. Can pretty much engage anything and expect to get a good amount of damage. But they have really poor melee attack once they get stuck into combat. And they're not all that quick. Although they're not horrendously slow, to be honest. You know, they're well into the low 8s on the movement speed, and they do have a dash ability, which gives, I think, 15%. Yeah, so they can get out of some situations. It's just if you get charged down barbarian cavalry, you know you're in trouble. But you can outrun Romans and things like that. Consumable rise, I think I talked about this briefly in the last one, but I decided to go for the movement speed. There's a couple of options, but I mean things like melee attack and stuff like that, they have a crap attack ability, so there's no point running with that. I don't like the sort of short-term buff ones. Things like shield armor, they don't have shields, so what's the point in that? Then the steeds is probably the only one that I would really consider as the other one. It's because it's that impact damage. That's the really useful thing in that one. Obviously, will do more damage once you successfully complete a charge. So charging into enemy infantry will actually do a slightly higher amount of damage if you've got increased impact damage. But then it's kind of balanced off against the movement speed. So I don't know. That's a tough one, I think. It could go either way for me. But in the end, I went with the movement speed. But, you know, feel free to, by all means, to pick the other one for yourselves. So, I think I've rambled and chatted rubbish enough. So, let's hop into our first battle and see how we get on. So, we are loading into Salernum. Not exactly the best map I would have picked for these guys. You know, cavalry need a wide open space and sort of lots of flexibility. But, you know, we'll see what we can do. Got a fair matchmaking, mostly tier 6s, but a few tier 5s dotted in there as well, so hopefully that's the same for the enemy team. And yeah, we'll just have to see how we get on. So far, I mean, the more I play these, I think hopefully my playstyle has improved on these Greek cavalry. I'm trying a lot less, certainly, to blob now than I did used to at the start, and that makes a big difference, particularly with the Greek cavalry being all about the charge. Grouping up into one mass really doesn't help you in the charge, and then you're just getting more units stuck into a fight that you really don't want. So yeah, trying to avoid the blobbing is definitely an important thing. I'm still not really a fan of wedge. It's kind of one of those things that some people seem to really like it and swear by it, and then others don't, and I'm one of the people who unfortunately doesn't. However, if I'm fighting off against, you know, some tier 5 or tier 6 Greek cavalry, then yes, I'll activate the wedge before charging into them, because obviously that charge impact damage will make a difference, significant difference. But when just fighting infantry and elsewhere, that you're only getting plus 6% impact damage, and I think the shape that it creates makes ultimately that you end up doing less damage, or it's harder to get a clean hit against enemy infantry. So personally, I'm not really much of a fan of it, but some of you may think differently. So I'm just kind of loitering at the back now. Obviously, I don't want to get stuck into any of these guys, and it looks like no one really has pushed up here properly. It looks like we've got some AFK Romans there. So we've got some Celeres and Barbarian cavalry emerging out of the forest. It's going to be kind of a tough one to know what to do for the best. Looks like we've got quite a lot of stuff going into town, so if we're going to dominate town, then maybe that is the place to be. This cavalry doesn't look like it actually wants to get stuck into anything. I'm being rather cowardly here at the start, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. They do own this central observation point, so they can see this whole area around here. But I don't get any cover from the long grass, really. I'll fight the Celeries on an individual basis, if they so desire. Or do we fight the Celeries? It depends if they're going to come back with support. Go on, we'll give them a pop. Let's just head into the long grass. We're going to have to be ready to charge if they are here, but they're not. Ah, they pull back over there. Okay. My worry is getting caught into a situation where suddenly a lot of support's going to turn up for them, and I'm going to be stuck on my own. Venture back into this long grass again. The enemy cavalry is all kicking around here. Move these guys up a little bit in support. Maybe this guy with the Celeries has got distracted. No, he's aware of my presence incoming. Okay. Oh, you see, this is the risk. You see, now suddenly it's no longer a very fair fight. That's what I'm trying to avoid happening. Because you see that other Celery players coming around the corner. Okay, let's just keep loitering around here. They still own that central cap point. Those Romans are pretty much dead. I'm going to just pull back into the city, I think. I'm kind of just being too cowardly out in the countryside because I'm trying to avoid getting caught. If I get caught and then, you know, another 5 units of enemy cavalry turn up, then I'll be dead pretty quickly. I won't be able to escape. And, you know, I'm not going to be around very long to be able to do anything. So we've got this unit of Falksmen here. I'll have to send a unit possibly down here. I'm trying to not use my commander unit as well, you may notice. Falksmen are a reasonable one for Greeks to charge into. So I was certainly prepared to have a look at that. Particularly they're looking fairly unsupported. And we've got quite a lot of friendly ability. So we'll get a nice early charge, early hammer. Should do a reasonable amount of damage to them there. Let's go straight in with Anvil. And then let's just get straight back out again. Let's bring in more support. So it's just about trying to get damage in them in this sort of situation. Oops, pull back. You're going to get caught. We'll go for them again because make sure we miss the building. We can then catch up with them with the rest of the infantry. Okay, cool. So as they're trying to run like that, they're just getting morale flanked. Out, dead. Might as well just anvil these guys, and then they can't run. And we've got our 2 remaining units. So that is basically the end of those Falksmen. And there we go, dead. Well, it didn't make us a lot of damage, but we actually got a reasonable amount of damage against them, so we can't complain too much. And it looks like things have evened up a little bit with some of this enemy cavalry, which is preferable. But it also looks like the enemy are starting to apply pressure on these friendly artillery. Or should we be going for some of these vast amounts of enemy cavalry around here? I think we will. I think we will. So let's start to move these guys up out the way a little bit. What have we got? So we've got some friendly Equites in retreat. Just try and manage this to the nth degree. Alright, move you over there. So we've got these Celeries over here. I will engage these if they would have a fight with me. They may wish to not, as it seems they're kind of pulling back. I'll keep pressuring them though. I'm splitting their forces. Fine. Let's go for an early charge if we can, so we should win the charge, which we do. Good, 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 good. Okay, get in there with an anvil straight away. And then let's bring in the next unit. Oh, wrong button. Oh, I screwed that up. I managed to avoid these guys. I managed to go for the wrong people. Okay, so let's go over there. Bring in this guy, get this anvil activated so we keep them anviled. And we've got friendly stuff turning up, which is good. So we've got a good amount of damage in that first charge. I messed up a charge down here, which was stupid because I had the wrong unit selected. But we're okay for now. I don't know why I activated all them on one unit, but we'll give some of our units a little bit of a buff. These guys look like they're having a bit of a hard time. I think they've actually sort of clicked out the circle, so they're walking away, so we're getting a good amount of damage on them. And we've got these guys completely surrounded. We're actually doing fairly well in hand-to-hand combat for Greek cavalry. This netting is up quite a nice amount of aggression points as we get them. I think while this was a bit of a slow start to this game, I still think I probably made some right moves there, trying to avoid getting stuck into a fight with Celeries. You know, if they get rear charges and stuff onto me, then you know it's not going to be ending very well for me. So, okay, so that went pretty well. So what have we got left, basically? So a couple of barbarian cavalry down here. Let's just, can we get out? Get everyone selected and get out into the open a bit more. You sure you want to charge them? Do not want to charge me instead. So we'll send a unit down to investigate. And we'll probably send the rest of our guys back to our own base. So let's send some of these guys in if we can. I'm not going to get a very favourable charge off on these guys, am I, at this rate? Unless they're going to stop and turn around. We'll go for a charge at that. We'll catch a few of them by the looks of it. Try and we'll get a rear flank on one of them. Get those guys moving quickly. What have we got? So just a couple of Celeres who are running away still. Looks like they're going to try and go for the decap. Which will just get them engaged. See what we can do damage-wise. I don't think there's going to be anything we're going to get back to in time before we end up winning on the capture. But you never know, we'll do what we can. Off an ally. And there we go, looks like we're going to get victory on this one without too much problems. Just 2,500 aggression damage. On victory. We have defeated the enemy. Yes, as I was saying, these guys are pretty good. I do enjoy them. I mean, as you saw, even that hand-to-hand combat with the Roman cavalry wasn't too bad. And we are that little bit quicker than those Romans as well, which kind of means we can avoid the engagement a little bit. We didn't have any barbarian cavalry to try to really force our hand in that. So manoeuvrability wasn't a problem for us. As I say, it was a bit of a slow start, but I was trying to avoid getting caught in an engagement that wasn't favourable. That is a very nice amount of experience. So yes, we're pushing towards these 38,000 for the tier 7s. Let's just check. Alexander's got a few things I think can be upgraded. Yeah, we'll upgrade the cooldown time on that one, I think. It's got quite a long cooldown on that anvil. Okay, so let's hop into the next battle and see how we get on. See if we can do as well as we did in the first one. So, we are loading into the Battle of Marathon. Again, not really the map I would have chosen. Because we're kind of a little bit corridored here. We've obviously got this large forest down here in sort of the south of the map, which is obviously something I want to try and keep out of as cavalry. Then it's sort of forest and sort of all these rocky outcrops and narrow little channels up sort of in the northern half of the map, which it can be fine, but it's not ideal for getting nice clean charges off and sort of having the manoeuvrability to outflank people. And obviously there's this central area, but there's normally sort of a line of spearmen across the central area, so that's not great either. So, yeah, not exactly the map I would have picked, but we'll see what we can do. Initially, I'm not going to do anything hyper-aggressive. We'll probably send a unit out just to scout. I was going to send the first unit. Obviously, I don't want to try and avoid sending my commander's unit if I can. It looks like we've got some barbarian mounted warband scouting for us as well. So we've got some enemy cavalry, some Celeres. Obviously, these are going to turn and run before me. I can almost guarantee, which of course they are doing. I'm not getting any of the spotting. I think it's all being done by our friendly mounted warband. So yes, and we've got some enemy spearmen moving up into the gap as well. Oops. Some artillery. Don't need to avoid that shot. Oof. Oh, that was a big hit. That was a very good hit by the enemy artillery there. So yeah, so I'm just leaving one unit to these two units back at the moment because there's nothing they can do for now. Obviously, none of the enemy cavalry is going stupidly too far, so there's nothing I can do there. And there's no point in me just sending all those units around into range of enemy artillery because it's just going to take damage when they really don't need to. And that was also kind of why I took the third unit rather than our commander unit, because if you get an unlucky artillery hit and that kills Alexander, then, well, you lose morale and obviously you lose the ability to use wedge, or that's not that much of a devastation. Our own artillery doesn't seem to be really returning very much fire. There we go, a few rounds coming out now. So these enemy spearmen are pushing particularly hard into our base. But other than that, there's not a lot happening. There's quite a bit happening down over here in the other side of the map, so maybe that's something we should be looking at. These guys are all AFK by the looks of it. Might stick them in phalanx mode. So we have got these enemy warriors down here, which kind of seem to be fairly on their own. If they're going to get stuck into a fight like that, then this is not such a bad engagement for us. So let's bring our units down here. What have we got down here? We've also got some other warriors chasing some Romans. So let's bring our 2nd battalion up. And we'll just go for a little bit of a rear charge. Obviously, we are walking dangerously near friendly missile units, so we are probably going to take some friendly fire. I'm not going to do a colossal amount of damage to anyone there by the looks of it. Which we didn't. Let's try and pull out without taking too much damage. 2,500, not too bad. And it's pulling a lot of their unit off my unit. That means they sort of worsened themselves in the engagement sort of point of view, I think. Not particularly so. This is why I don't really want to fight in forest, because you just lose so much movement speed as cavalry and charge bonus. It kind of makes it hard to do anything particularly effectively. Because it means, you know, 66 shows how little damage we did in that charge. So there's not really a lot of point in us doing that. I think these Romans should be able to do it. Shame they don't spread themselves out a little bit more. They'd be better off. So let's pull back. Looks like these Macedonians have got themselves thoroughly outflanked, these enemies here. We've got some Punic mercenaries pushing in here. And some archers. Are those archers sufficiently exposed? Looks like one of our units is going for it. Some enemy companions coming up here. Okay. I sense a possibility for an ambush. Let's move these units over here a bit more. Is he gonna... Could work, you know. It could work. Line it up, line it up. He's not paying attention. Go for the charge. Oh, a bit early. Oh, we're going to clip his side. Not perfect, not perfect. Get the anvil. Okay, where's the anvil? Ah, you bastards. Okay, that did not go well. I didn't expect those enemies to be there. The only consolation about that whole thing is that he's just immediately oathed himself for some reason, which means he now can't pursue me. So we caught one unit of enemy cavalry, but lost some cavalry ourselves. So those guys can pull back over there. I would like to try and catch up with these guys if we can to get a charge into them, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. I can't get a tune charge from there. Come on, straighten up, straighten up. There we go. Turn on him. Charge. Didn't go so well. Okay, God, this isn't going very well. Anvil, and then try and pull out. Where's that 2nd unit gone? Just pull back and hide around there. I can't micromanage that many people at once. So, the forest is now full of enemies, which is not exactly ideal. So let's pull back to some friendly support over there. These guys are well in trouble. They've been surrounded by enemy cavalry. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid happening in the first game. Let's see if we can get out of this one. Go for a cavalry dash to try and get away. I'm just going to have to tell these guys to try and get a reasonable distance away, because I've now got units in every direction on the map. We'll turn on these companions. Okay, kill them. Right, that unit's safe down there, at least for now. Right, okay. Let's send these guys around here. Maybe those archers aren't paying sufficient attention. These guys are just everywhere. We're just being pursued all the time. Everyone seems to really have it in for me. We've still got that unit over there. Try and use my mini-map a bit more. Oh, a unit of enemy artillery. Okay. That was a fortuitous find. Let me just get myself lined up if I can. Okay, go for the charge. Push, push, push. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Okay, right. Can you just sod off? These Punic mercenaries have just like clicked follow me to the end of the world and just will not leave me alone. Yeah, I'm trying to kill these guys as much as I can. These guys are just move over there. This is chaos. Well, that got us a nice amount of points, finding these artillery crews just undefended, and that was only because I was trying to run away. Right, okay, some enemy Celeres. I'm going to have to do the charge because they've caught me there. Okay, let's anvil these guys and get the fight in on them. Bring these guys back down. And how are these guys getting on? Those enemy are dead. Okay, so let's pull these enemies out because we've got some enemy legionaries turning up. These guys should still be fighting these Celeres over there, which they are doing well. Bring these guys around. It shouldn't be a problem for us over here. Killing those last of the Celeres are proving to be quite good in hand-to-hand combat against these Romans. Let's try and catch up with those last handful of enemy Celeres, which is good, and I've routed. Okay. Where's third unit? Okay, oh, some enemy archers. Line ourselves up. Early charge. Hopefully we'll clip them all. Which we did. Okay, we'll get Anvil back in 1. Okay, Anvil. This is just chaos. It's getting us a nice amount of points though. Yes, so. Well, we'll see if it happened over this past 5 minutes. Yes, obviously the risk of having to split your forces is that it can turn into absolute chaos like that. Ah, nice friendly artillery shot into kill most of our cavalry units there. So let's reform up. Yeah, so when everyone kind of got split out like that, I had 3 units on 3 halves of the map, and obviously it's not really possible to focus on all of them at once, which kind of makes it hard to deal with in a way. Obviously with it was lucky that then I found those enemy artillery, managed to deal with them, and then I just kept getting chased by some of those punic mercenaries who just would not leave me alone at all. Oh, completely wiped out my unit. So yes, that made things kind of difficult for me to deal with. But we kind of got through it. We caught one of their enemy cavalry, then got caught ourselves, and all sorts of things, so it was all a bit chaos. Let's see if we can find a unit of enemy artillery to cause some damage against. I guess this is going to be one of these guys that's got some legionaries with them. Oh, stakes. Okay. Don't run into the stakes, please. We'll send 1 unit round. We'll just capture this observation point if these Romans aren't going to come for us. And then we can, they'll either have to go for my main unit. Oh, some peelers thrown at me. Just kill off these handful of guys up here. Let's engage these stakes down here. So now I've got a choice. They can either come and engage me on these stakes, because I'm going to go and engage them. Which will probably be the right thing to do, because this is the larger force, where these handful are going to have a hard time doing much damage to these artillery. As soon as these guys are dead. So I'm just going to do that. Let's go for an anvil. I'll just weather the enemy damage. Oof, even a handful of cavalry can just do such an immense amount of damage. So let's keep those guys fighting. They'll anvil themselves, although they'll be dead soon. But we're just racking up a lot of points now, killing off this enemy cavalry. Enemy cavalry? Don't look like cavalry. Enemy artillery crews. And they're dead. So let's bug out of this fight. What we can with luck. Alexander will get out alive, which he did. And the enemy artillery is all dead now, except just a unit of Principes. Which frankly we might as well charge. What have we got to lose? If we can clear this artillery without too much trouble.
Smash them apart.
Even frontally, 5,000 damage. Okay, and then we might as well pull our bat again. Try and keep themselves from getting too killed. And we'll wait for our hammer to come back in. I don't know why we've not had any any friendly support moving up. I guess it's just taking themselves a while to get here. Right, still 10 seconds before we get our support back. That's just pushed us over 5k aggression damage. It's always a good game when we get that. Okay, let's see if we can maybe just maybe. Oh, that didn't work so well, did it? Okay, well, we're on the rear anyway. We'll activate an anvil, and we'll just stick with a very small amount of damage in this hand-to-hand combat. As these remaining punic mercenaries should now finish off these Principes. They're not going to have access to, well, they're not going to have access to any abilities because they're anvils at the moment. But yeah, these Greeks have actually kind of surprised me. Now they're upgraded, particularly with that extra body armour. And they're actually pretty tough. I mean, 148 body armour, they're actually not so bad in hand-to-hand combat. Then maybe that's what is causing them to survive a little bit better. And they actually got much more body armour than these Principes. Returned, routed, and eliminated. And victory is ours. So despite being a bit of a chaotic battle at times, things did actually pan out kind of okay. And I think that's one of the benefits of not blobbing, is the fact that if one unit goes wrong, like some of them did, then your whole lot doesn't end up getting killed because you don't get caught in one mass envelopment. You always got those spare units that are off doing something else, which kind of we had in that battle. So hopefully you've enjoyed that slightly chaotic and slightly exciting battle there at the end. If you have, please give this video a like. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Yeah, subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content. And thanks guys, I shall see you all on the next video.